Have you been bored out of your mind? Well, look no further to the best places you can travel to, physical and cultural landforms. Physical and cultural landforms that you should go to are the Great Barrier Reef and the Matsumoto-jo Castle. Great Barrier Reef is a reef that borders the entirety of Australia, and there are many resorts near it as well. People go exploring this reef, but that leads to another problem. There's a lot of pollution in the Great Barrier Reef. As you can see on screen, there's a lot of pollution, and we need to fix it. Great Barrier Reef was found by Europeans who were sailing the west coast of Australia in the year 1522. In August of that year, James Cook sailed the entire length of the Great Barrier Reef, seeing a glimpse of it a little bit on the way of his voyage. On June 11th, Cook's party became very intrigued with the reef when they entered Endeavour Reef. They were forced to rebuild their ship when they were on the shore of modern-day Cooktown. Cook and his scientists illustrated the reef and was able to map out the reef, which proved that it did in fact exist. Cook couldn't find a way around the natural barrier, so him and his boatist landed on Lizard Island so that they could try and find a way around the barrier. When they found a high point, they were able to find a spot where they can get through Endeavour. Matsumoto-jo Castle, also known as the Fukashi Castle, is one of Japan's most popular castles. Built in 1594, this castle was only for military purposes and defense purposes. This is actually one of the most oldest castles in Japan. Entering this castle costs you 610 yen, which is also $4.05 in US dollars. There is also a national park outside of the Matsumoto-jo Castle that gives you a clear view of the castle, and it's free for all visitors all year round. The first structure of the castle was actually a fort, and it was built in 1504. By 1594, the castles and the other two towers were complete. During its 280-year use for military purposes, there were 23 different lords, and they all came from 6 different families. After the reunification of Japan, most of the castles that were used for military use weren't needed anymore. Most of the castles were sold and tore down. The Matsumoto-jo Castle was sold, but the people of Matsumoto fought so that the castle would not be torn down. The castle was then bought back by the developers because of people of Matsumoto helping the cause. Citizens of Matsumoto tried to fix the castle and turn it to a national treasure by fixing the rooms, etc. And it was able to be turned into a national landmark in 1952.